This arcade machine is Lost Tomb from 1982 by Stern, which has Robotron 2084 style controls and is a lot like Berzerk mixed with Gauntlet. Interesting game. Let's fire it up. When you start the game, your little explorer guy lands on top of the tomb and you start your first level. Lock and load, mate. This screen says it all. Key chests open, doors watch out for nasties, and grab what you can, get the hell out of there. The first time that I played this game, it reminded me of Berzerk meets Robotron because it has the twin-stick style shooting controls, and this is from Stern, who also produced Berzerk. But it's not exactly like either of those games. In fact, the more time I spent with it, the more it reminded me of Gauntlet, with some serious Berzerk influence. Because time is your enemy in this game, as well as the nasties. You have to collect those chests in time, as represented by the time bar on top of the screen, before a trap is sprung, creating an earthquake and shooting things out of the wall that are very difficult to dodge. In between each level, you can choose your path through the map, but as this is a really old-school arcade machine, the joysticks were not working terribly well with the map selection screen, so I always went with the bottom right because it was the quickest, easiest one to get to before the bats swarm upon you and eat your eyeballs. Lost Tomb is not a terribly common arcade machine to stumble across in your travels, so if you see one, you should play it. One of the things that makes it really cool is the fact that you have to reload in between each of your firing sprees. So unlike Robotron, you can't just shoot constantly and create a wall of bullets because at some point your guy has to reload. And you don't want it to be at that moment when you're being attacked by spiders trying to eat your brains. You also have a whip in this game like Indiana Jones, which you can use to clear out bad guys and bring down walls. I've sprung a trap, run! Ha! Suckers. The game gets really intense because, like Robotron and Berzerk, after a while the enemies start swarming upon you faster and faster, and it's that reloading that gets you. Because while you never fully run out of ammunition, you've got to plan ahead when trying to clear out an entire room exploding with enemies. And then there's the traps, which have a really cool audio effect as the game gets quiet and slowly rumbles. It always feels so good to leave a room in this game. If you do spring a trap, you can hit one of those chests which will defuse it and score you points. This game is remarkably challenging. It's somewhere along the lines of Berzerk while somebody's punching you in the face. That's Lost Tomb. True dat, Mark. The game does get ridiculous after a while. In fact, they even offer you the chance to buy additional whips for another quarter. That's like downloadable add-on content in 1982. I will buy some whips. The whips are quite handy because you can just cut your way through walls with those things. That's some whip. Lost Tomb was clearly inspired by the popular Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark, which was released in 1981. And while I don't care for the visual style and the cabinet is not as attractive as some other arcade games from the era, and it feels awkward at times, I found that I loved the gameplay, and after I stopped recording, I wanted to play more. It's addictive. I think that fans of Robotron and Berzerk in particular will really enjoy this game because it shares much in common, but also adds a number of creative gameplay elements that you won't find elsewhere. This game is one to make you sweat, I'll give it that. These guys were masochists. I am cutting a path. I am getting out of here. Hasta la vista, dumbass bats. My theory is the designers of Berzerk got really drunk one night and watched Indiana Jones and thought, hey, we should combine those two. and they made Lost Tomb. Sounds like a fun night, actually. I lost Tomb. Thanks to the guys at Papa World Headquarters for the chance to play the game. Don't miss it if you see this one somewhere. All that work for a high score. There it is.